Hello and welcome to Plat Chat VALORANT, episode 192, the show known for having 4 hosts at professional setups partaking in a podcast about Valorant and video games. I'm Mimi, I'm here with Sliggy, with TMV, and a dark man in the shadows.
Hi everybody.
Seth,
I'm
what's
in a
going
taxi
on
right
there?
Now. I had a meeting that went late, and I'm driving through Seoul at the moment on the way back to my house. So, but I'm not late, so I'm better than Wilkinson.
Yeah,
That is very
this
true.
doesn't count as being late. I respect this. This is a lot of effort levels.
This
Sideshow
feels to
would
me
never.
like we're watching like one of those videos that just like POV, you're riding through the streets of Seoul at 3 a.m. You remember that life is worth living.
It's a nice
Lo-fi hip-hop
idyllic.
beats.
It's a nice idyllic rainy evening as well, so it really fits that vibe.
What's
Yeah.
your taxi driver like? How far away are you? Can they hear
You
you?
wanna-
they?
You want
What
to
do
get
they
him on?
Yeah, what's
Start
going on?
asking him some questions.
I have to tab over and check the GPS because I can't see it. He's got it on the left side of his steering wheel, so I actually can't see it. But I should be about like maybe 15 minutes away from my house.
Will your
Lovely.
cab driver come on the show?
Yeah, well, yeah. What does he think of Phoenix?
Big changes.
You know,
Yeah.
I'm good for that. Giving me content, but good luck. I also just don't want to get kicked out of this taxi right now.
That's very fair.
If you had to walk back, that would be so funny.
The 2-hour walk, the entire episode he's strolling. It's like, I'm home, guys. Okay, that's it.
Yep.
Oh, that's beautiful. All right, well, Seth's making his way.
Mimi, your mic
I've-
cut out.
Yeah,
I
this-
thought
you're
it
still
was
listening.
me. I thought I lost connection because I'm on mobile, but it was me.
It's going great. The
Yeah.
start's
I'm just
going
gonna
great.
keep it on the. I'm gonna keep it on the street. view.
Yeah, give
we'll
us
be
some
right back.
entertainment.
Play the music. We'll just watch the nice view of Seoul. I mean, you could ask your driver surely about T1. You know, he must have thoughts on T1. He must know T1 or their team.
But he
That's
would
what
only
that
know
was.
Faker, probably, if that.
Hmm.
Yeah, surely.
No, it wouldn't be the right esport, you know.
Yeah, tough. Imagine he's a massive Valorant fan.
Oh,
That would be
hello?
And then we
You
just
know,
missed
that'd
out.
be crazy.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hi.
Oh, okay,
Hello.
all right. We've been in a collision.
What?
No
What?
way.
No.
There's no way. There is no way. This is scripted. This is so scripted.
I'm not even joking.
Oh my goodness.
My driver he's out of the cab. He's very angry.
Did
and,
you hit them
he's
or
yelling at the
they
other
hit
guy
you?
who is.
Jesus.
Seth, you can log off if you.
Yeah,
if you
this
feel
might
like-
be.
There is, trust me, there is nothing that I can add to this situation. So we're chilling.
This is amazing. This
That's
is like
crazy. Is everyone alright? Everyone looks okay?
They're currently yelling at each other outside of the taxi.
That's
I can't
absolutely
believe that just
insane,
happened.
dude. That's wild.
What kind of collision was it? Like, did
I think he
you
heard
get
the name
reminded,
Faker
or-
and then he got,
yeah,
he got
Faker. He got
distracted.
Faker.
It was, I couldn't actually tell who was at fault because I wasn't paying attention, but I think that the guy in the lane next to us merged over a little bit too far as we were coming to an intersection, and the side of the car is now scraped.
Oh, a little side swipe
Okay.
accident.
Damn,
That's not
dude.
that bad. Probably no one hurt then.
it's, I mean, obviously nothing where harm, like,
Yeah.
to me or anybody is involved, but yeah, a little bit of a paint job needing to be redone here.
Okay.
Dude, this is the beauty of Korea, because if this was America, I would be showing the podcast every part of the car. I would be getting so litigious in a moment like this.
Dude, they're gonna use the VOD of this in the court case for
Yeah.
insurance reasons. Yeah, we have
This
it all on
actually
camera.
could-
This is crazy.
Now they're holding
Yeah,
up
it is a little bit
traffic, it
frazzled.
appears.
Nah, okay. I guess so. All right, hang on. I'll be back in like 2 minutes.
Oh my
Okay.
god.
Well,
absolutely
That's a heck
He's
of a way to
walking
start
home.
the show. Well, okay. So hopefully he'll get home from his car
Can't believe that just
accident.
happened.
That's
Yeah,
ridiculous.
unbelievable. Well, we wait for Seth to get back though. great chance to become a member of the show and get exclusive benefits. Whoa, segue. If you become a member now, as a lot of you had during the co-stream or just after that, you now get access to an exclusive Discord, which is a work in progress, but it's a members-only Discord with all the Plat Chat people in there. You can ask questions, you can talk to people, you can see bonus content like the forbidden episode from Champions 2022 and other things like that. Hi, Seth.
Hello.
I'm out of the taxi. They're disputing the thing, so he's just like, sorry, you have to leave. And I'm like, okay. So I'm on the side of the street, and I'm looking for another cab.
He actually is going to have to walk home.
God.
It's happening.
Oh my god.
So I'll have you guys on in the background while I call another taxi.
The freeze frame.
Look at the smile. Look at the smile.
That's so
how happy he
perfect.
is.
Slenderman moment. All right. Well, Godspeed to Seth. But yeah, you can get access to the exclusive Discord. You can earn access to all the content early there, all of the exclusive content, and you get the badge and emotes. Look at Seth. He's so happy. He's a Plat Chat member, and he's just loving his life. Just got in a car wreck. No care in the world because he's a Plat Chat member.
The happiest person to be in a car crash that I've ever seen.
We had a member question for this month, which is how many balls does Sideshow have? The answer might surprise you.
Wait, that stayed in the document? I put that there as a joke 24 hours ago.
That's your doing?
Yeah, that was me.
All right, let's see if we have a real question that
That's
isn't
so
Seth
good.
tomfoolery. Okay. Do you think Sadak and Les moving to EMEA could have long-lasting consequences on Brazilian talent rather moving to EMEA than NA? So I think the question is, do we think more Brazilian players will follow in his footsteps?
I mean,
What do the streets of Seoul say?
I mean, I guess so, yeah. Because if that's where the money's at, then I can see more people moving away from it.
Yeah, I also think it helps when, you imagine being like the one guy who's Brazilian, like moving to EMEA, how well are you going to fit in? If there's already like a bunch of people already there who like, you can create a little Brazilian group, probably players that you already know. Like how well do Sadak and Les know the players from EMEA? Probably not that great. If there's already Brazilian players there, then I feel like, it's just like a nice thing to have people that you already know there. You'll have already friends there, basically.
Yeah. The thing is, though, that there weren't already a ton of Brazilian players playing on like mixed NA rosters. Most of the Brazilian players in Americas are still playing on Portuguese-speaking rosters. There's a limited number of people that are like fluent in English and comfortable comming it. Obviously, there is a good chunk of the pros that are, but it's not all the Brazilian players. So I imagine for those like top echelon guys that are worth taking up an import slot, are worth taking that risk for, we might see some more. But I don't expect it to be any kind of like big exodus or seeing like multiple players on a team because of the fairly strict import rules.
Yeah, like it's only going to be like, as you say, the top players who are doing this. Everyone else, it's just not worth wasting an import on them. You might as well just, and obviously the regions are so balanced in Valorant generally anyway, so it's like, unless you're a top player, probably not worth.
I think this year's a little bit different as well because the French teams are really going big for Paris champs, so they're this is the time that they're spending money. So I can't see them spending as much money in future years unless it's like another major that's like in their
major
home
in
country.
Paris every year.
Yeah, basically that. But also, I mean, the tier 2 Brazilian stuff looks pretty good. So, Steph, you got anything for us?
Is my audio just rude?
It sounds like you're in a wind tunnel.
Okay, that's great.
What do you think about the member question,
your audio's
Seth?
pretty bad, so I might just dip until I get into the taxi.
Yeah, ring us in the taxi. I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, all right. I've been working on it. I'm not getting one. That's great.
Are you like calling an Uber or trying to flag?
I'm trying to call a Kakao taxi, which is basically the same as an Uber.
Yeah.
But I'm in the heart of the city at 11 p.m. This is like the worst place this accident could have occurred, to be honest. Like it's about has it been past 5 minutes?
You
Encore?
can. You've been
You
through
can
a lot.
swear.
You can do whatever you want.
Yeah, you can do it.
No, but I still don't want to demonetize. I'm
You're-
not like
no, we're
Brandon
fine,
Or,
we're
or
fine.
Josh
You get
or
a
any of
free
them, so,
pass.
We're fine.
like
It's past
okay.
5.
It's about as fucked as it could be where I'm at. So yeah, I don't know. We can. All right. How about this? I can step inside for a moment. Let me
No,
just
you
keep
can.
the umbrella.
You
Oh,
can
wait.
stay on. I'll just keep your volume low until you talk.
Okay, we're while we're waiting.
Okay,
Let's go to the convenience
great.
store.
This is literally one of those videos. My tour
Okay.
around Seoul.
POV.
Yeah.
You're going to the GS25 at 11 p.m. Your taxi just got in a car accident.
Yeah.
It couldn't
What's the
have,
beer
it
choice?
couldn't have gone much better when we said we should do the phone call. I was thinking, yeah, it could be a little bit fun.
All right, we're gonna get a highball.
Sapporo?
No, we're gonna get a highball. It's 9%. I need it right now. After that.
Okay. Seth's gonna have a fun episode. All right, we'll let him interact with the worker and buy that one. But yeah, thank you for the member question. If you want to submit one in the future, make sure you have your Discord linked to your YouTube and that you are a member of the channel. And you can go ahead and hop in there. Let's jump into the meat of this episode, which is a lot of news about updates to the game. Some leaked, but also one official patch coming in, which is 9.08. And much like Seth leaving the convenience store, I don't have a segue, but there were
Yeah.
some changes to Gecko, which I think are a pretty significant adjustment to him. I don't think it's a huge buff or nerf, but I think it will change how he plays a little bit. The first thing they're talking about is that they felt like it was too easy for the globules, which, by the way, it's crazy that their official name is globules. When the little buddies are on the floor. But they were saying that they felt it was too easy to just grab those globules, that there wasn't you didn't have to be intentional with how you use the utility, so they reduced the time in the world from 20 to 15 seconds and the pickup time to 1.5 seconds, which I haven't felt it in game, but that doesn't feel like a huge increase.
Yeah, I think the pickup time isn't too much. Like a 0.5 doesn't change that much. I think this changes a little bit of pro play because maybe now you can kind of fight for like if they actually say that they take like showers on binds, then you can actually like throw a brim smoke down that's gonna last for the same time that the globule, whatever we're calling it, is there. So you can actually like fight for it. So I think that it'll change a lot of pro play. This is just a ranked buff, though, I feel like, for Gecko. Pro play a little bit weaker, ranked buff for sure, because didn't they have some mad change about the flash?
Yeah, so the flash now is almost less like a sentry and more like a flash. It used to take 1.5 seconds to activate. Now it only takes 1 second. They're also noting that its targeting algorithm is more reliable and that the flash is now going to blind the minimap of players. So yeah, I suppose now Dizzy's going to get online a little bit faster, maybe a bit easier to follow up with your utility, less time to react and actually break it before it gets value.
Yeah.
This is pretty strong.
Yeah.
I feel like.
I mean, that's the thing. Like, and you can add in the wingman to this as well with the angle change. Like, that was for like that one. I understand. Like, when sometimes the wingman would clap, but like the angle was too short.
You
so
could sidestep it, right?
Yeah, people. wouldn't
If
get
you were
stunned,
full
so-
sprint A or D'ing, you would always sidestep it, which was
Yeah.
kind of silly.
Yeah, so now hopefully that's fixed as well. So yeah, I think a bit. Let's just say like more reliable, I guess would be the word in terms of like how often things are gonna go well for you. Not crazy. And then the final one was what, the Thresh ult. I mean, the ult needed to be 8 cost anyway. The fact that
Yep.
it wasn't.
This is
that
a
would-
good change.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this just makes. I was kind of surprised, to be honest. I was really surprised that they've made a Gecko change, but haven't nerfed like the diffuse in some way. I feel like that's the part of Gecko that was like maybe the problem, right? That when you're in those post plants and Wingman gets on the spike, and that obviously Wingman is sticking it, so you have to reveal yourself, you have to swing, that 100%. It's just like such a game changer in so many of those rounds that like. To me, like if I was thinking like where's Gecko problematic, I wouldn't be thinking like that would be my main focus point with Gecko in general, I think.
Yeah, but you're not thinking about the plush money, TMV. That's the thing. They make too much money off of these guys. Wingman's never getting nerfed as well.
Don't
They-
nerf
they-
him.
they-
Free
they-
my boy.
They even changed the animations. We're gonna see him planting
Oh, yeah.
again, miss 5 kills, and I'm gonna be losing my mind. It's just some little idiots just planting, and then there's a new change to how he turns into a globule or whatever the hell it is. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that for the first 2 months of us just seeing him planting the spike. That's gonna be great. But yeah, dude, they
two
won't nerf
things
this
on that
guy.
note,
He's too
though.
strong. Sells too much money.
What if would the nerf now bring back Fracture? That sounds good. But
Right.
also, if you wanted to nerf Wingman, why not just make it so that he could only hold the half?
He only halves the spike.
So if a player has already held the half, Wingman could finish it, or he could hold the half for somebody else to finish, but he could only go do 50% of the spike to use.
I agree.
Yeah,
Sounds
I like
a-
the change. But
Sounds like a reasonable option.
that would mean less highlights of Wingman and
Yeah,
less
but
money.
that means
so-
less highlights, less
Yeah.
money.
The plush
That's not how
money.
it works.
Yeah, they're never going to be doing that. If anything, he's going to diffuse it in half the time.
Yeah, half the time.
Yeah,
No
he's
tap,
got-
no
he's got a
sound.
little- he's got a little kit on him. Yeah, there's no sound. You never know.
Here's the thing, you guys, your hate has only grown for Wingman, but I'm watching like the original like Pokemon cartoon for the first time ever, and I've only grown admiration for this little shit. First time ever. I didn't have cable as a kid, so I never watched it. It's really good though.
I feel awkward. I'm like yelling on the sidewalk of the city. Like, I'm not in the sanctity of my own home. Crazy to me. I mean, I guess like watching the. Well, I mean, you're young, so actually watching the original run kind of makes sense. But yeah, I don't know. That was my childhood.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
it
so
was
gas
unreal.
though. I'm not gonna lie.
That's
Like,
really good, yeah.
it's a great cartoon. The art is so pretty. The music is banging. It's like the narrator. It's
I still
Big
I
ups.
have that.
I mean, the
have
theme
that
song, the best of all time.
soundtrack. I have that soundtrack on CD still. The To Be a Master album.
that's sick.
It's
Even
so
like
good.
the pokey rap at the end
nothing
of
but
every
that.
episode is so
yeah,
gas.
yeah, that's good. Yeah, true.
Yes.
Anyways, though,
I
I
people
think that
reminisce.
to me this doesn't feel like a change that is trying to push Gecko out of the meta or significantly like change the way that we see him in the game. I think the biggest goal is just like working out some of the things that either felt bullshit to be Gecko or to play against him, right? Like Wingman
Yeah.
not stunning someone, the flash taking so long to activate. I think they're trying to make the abilities like Dizzy, like Wingman, better as like initiator tools and less of just like a I have an ability that wins us retake spot.
Yeah, I think they're trying to make teams as well, like play against it and try and fight for space. But I'm telling you, this agent is going to be really good in ranked now. Like that flash is going to farm everyone in ranked.
Yeah.
So that's a little bit scary. But overall, I think dude, at least the ult's going up by 1. That used to be the big issue at the moment. I mean, we have an issue with Valorant and just snowballing, but Gecko is like the one agent that could pretty much always have his ult online, on like, especially if you win the pistol on the 3rd round. So this should help at least like prevent some of that. I still think we're going to see it loads, but it should prevent it a little bit.
And like
Snowballing, I
7
think, is the key word there, because that could be very relevant in a future topic. I think that is on the docket.
Okay.
With some
Foreshadowing.
Of the changes, so. Yeah.
ominous foreshadowing. There was a couple other changes in this patch though. One of which is to Yoru, which is that the blind blinds like Gecko's Dizzy, Vice's Arc Rose will now show the like blind effect over Yoru's fake out. That's the little like shroud over the head when they're blinded, so that it's more clear he's a real agent. I think that was just a glitch. The Vice line will play. Cypher's Neural Theft
That
will
one is
now show
funny.
fake out, which is wild.
That's so funny. I mean, it'll happen once in the whole of next season, I'm sure. Like, it'll barely have any impact, but
Such a good action shot.
yeah, but
Damn, we made it.
yeah.
We're so back.
Go back.
Don't say you're a direct.
Say your address to everyone.
yeah, please mute yourself.
I just muted it. Good call.
Lip readers? Lip readers?
I'm assuming we're past that point now, hopefully.
Yeah,
Hopefully.
surely.
Couple other little things. Jet Dash and Skyalt will no longer get stuck at the window in Ascent. Thank God. It's crazy that it's not like anyone ever plays Sky on that map, but it's crazy that Seekers were still getting messed up this late into the game. Couple other little things to skins. Who cares? I think the biggest thing is, of course, the new TDM map. Who's excited for this?
I mean, the last one they made was dog shit. The last one
This
they
is my
made,
problem, man.
the
I'm
last
so
one they made
worried.
was so bad. Like this one can't be that bad. It would be hard to make one.
No,
that
I
bad
can
again.
just see how it's going to be. So at least in the other one that they did, that you could have like the long range duel. That was pretty cool. Middle was pretty good, and then all of the side bit sucks because everyone's just flanking on the side with Neon. You're getting shot in the side all the time by that one person that really tries to keen it up. I'm so worried for this that it's not even going to be a TDM map. It's going to be like close corners, like shotgun based. I just have no faith in any of the map design in this game anymore. Like I've just given up faith with just anything. I see a new map and I'm just instantly worried.
It
Even
looks
with
like it's
TDM, I
half
feel like they're going to
Haven
mess it up.
and half another map, right? Like if you look
Yeah, I
at
think
the
Sunset
key
Haven,
art, it looks like Winter Haven, and then like, is that Sunset on the other side?
Yeah, I think it.
That's kind of cute.
Yeah, but I mean,
I'm not even looking at it because I have the camera pointed out the window. I don't know what it looks like.
No,
It
it
looks
looks
cool.
alright. Yeah, a lot of corners to play shotguns in. I think.
yeah, we'll have to see. But yeah, I mean, the last one was like a 1v1 map that for some reason they made 5v5. But hopefully, I mean, I like TDM.
TDM's
great
great.
addition.
It's a fun
great
game, though.
addition.
TDM
But
is
I
great.
fucking
Yes.
what's it called? Drift. I fucking hate anytime I see that map. I
Drift?
hate it.
That's the new one, right? Is
Oh,
that what we're
that's the
talking
name of
about?
the map. Okay.
That was Drift.
I
the
thought
old
Drift
one,
came
Well,
out on
as in-
release.
Yeah. Oh, I have no idea what they're
Oh,
called.
but-
I don't know the names of them.
I just know the feel.
yeah.
More important to this podcast, though, map rotation has been updated in this
Hallelujah.
patch, which means there will be new maps in play
is the big
for the
change.
start of the VCT season. Pearl and Split are in, Icebox, Lotus out.
Hopefully forever for Icebox.
Let's fucking go!
Yeah. Hopefully forever. I'm like,
Yeah.
honestly, please never,
Yes.
never bring Icebox back.
Never again.
It is one of the worst maps I've ever seen. Please don't bring this back. Like, please. And if we are gonna bring it back, change everything. Literally everything about the map. When you're looking at
You
the map,
don't
you're
like
going,
going
"Oh, what
every
should we
round?"
change?" I hate this map. It is awful. We need to we need to just delete this map forever,
Yes.
man. Please.
Yeah.
It and Breeze can just go away forever. It's
Game
just a
would be
lot.
so much better.
It's so fine to make mistakes as long as we learn from it and we show that we've learned from it. So let's just put it in the bin and never think about it again. Breeze,
What-
Icebox, leave them in the bin.
What if
Agree.
you just made it look custom another game and you actually just played in like a giant freezer?
Okay. So we're keeping
Well, and
the
all the
name.
agents like shrunk
It's
down
called
and you're just in a
Icebox.
freezer.
Exactly. Just fuck it. Like let's just this map is Garbo. Let's just have fun with it.
That's beautiful. Okay. Yeah, I definitely can envision what that would look like and know what that means. Pearl
mean,
being back, I think, is
yeah.
is high key a dub. I'm not gonna lie. Because
You say this. You say this.
No, they
I'm
fixed this map.
convinced.
They
I'm convinced,
fixed
Mimi.
this map right at the end of its rotation
Yeah,
life.
I agree.
That Harbor Viper wasn't as viable. One smoke could hold B long. It was beautiful. People were starting to do stuff in mid. The map was interesting. You have these cool long range fights. The way mid plays in is super cool. It's a good map, and I'm glad it's back.
Yeah, I agree.
Look,
No, yeah.
I like Pearl. I like half of it.
Which half
I
do
like-
you not like?
I like
Mid and
the
B?
A half.
Okay.
The other half, I agree with you. They did help fix it. I think that they didn't quite go far enough. I think I'm still a little bit worried that since Pearl left, we have, I think, gone even further in the direction of, people realizing that spamming is just clearly the best way of playing a lot of post plants on a lot of maps. And I'm worried that if that's the direction we've gone in, because to me it's just like it's so simple. All you've got to do is just like change that little slice of like where you can plant and just say you can't plant there, and the problem disappears. Like then you can't go all the way back to be long and like as soon as you do that, I feel like we're good. And maybe just add in like a little box so someone else can play on the site. Like done. We're happy. Yay, great map. What a map. But as it is, I just feel like I can see Team Heretics now. They run down B. They leave Mini Boo on his own on B site. Someone's holding a KO flash for him to just swing around the little corner. Everyone else is fucking miles away. You know, absolute miles away. Boo is playing on fucking a different map. He's on bind, just waiting for his Astro pull. Yeah, I can already see that happening. And like initially, you're gonna be like, "Oh, I love Pearl. Yeah, I love Pearl." And then this is gonna happen. This is gonna happen to you twice in ranked, and you're gonna be like, "This fucking map sucks." Or you're gonna be in ranked and you're on defense, and you aren't playing B, and the idiot who is fucking playing B is just fucking has no hope, dying straight away every round, and you're gonna be like, "This map's shit. I fucking hate this shit." And you're going to end up 4-stacking B, and then they'll go A, and you'll be like, fuck this shit.
There is a good chance for this. I'm not going to lie. There is definitely a good chance
Yeah,
for that.
especially because last time we had this map in pro play, we didn't have the horrors of the like gecko
Wingman.
meta yet.
Yeah,
right?
fuck this guy again. He's ruining everything.
It
What I'm
all-
saying, we
all
realize
goes.
that everything bad in this game comes down to this guy. I'm telling you, it's always fault. Crazy.
What if they delete Wingman?
Then
can't play it
we
anymore.
have a game. Maybe delete Icebox, Breeze, shotguns, some of the other stuff,
And Wingman.
and then we're talking. But that would be a good start.
That's the solution then. And any thoughts on Split coming back? I feel like it's just always
It's
been
a
a pretty
banger
good
map.
map. It's a
Great map.
it's a banger to watch in pro play. Like
I think the meta will be interesting too, though. I think there's a lot of. Is it Omen Astra now with the Astra buffs? 'Cause of course, we used to see a lot of Astra. People still playing Viper, you know, like, or are we going double initiator? Like,
Double
are we
dive.
playing Neon? Are we playing Neon on Split? Like, you know,
Yeah.
I think it'll be really interesting to see what people
Yeah,
do.
it should be like super open right now. We've had like kind of 5 prominent comps really. Maybe you can say 5 with like the neon in there as well. So yeah, I think like all of those comps could work. Astra is gonna be interesting. People can do Astra Omen, like you said. It will honestly be interesting to see how many teams lean into Astra in general. Because I think Astra's super strong, but it's so much comfort playing Omen. But yeah, people might go double dive still as well. Seems like the duelists are getting a lot of
I
buffs these
oh,
days.
fucking Raise Neon, just fucking full send mode. I'm in. Paper Rex.
There you go.
I do
There
want
you
to
go.
say though that I feel like if you were to just call it now, I think that this is the map pool for like an Astra takeover. Having Split Pearl come back, both
Yeah,
those
big
maps she
Astra.
is so strong on. I mean, the power she brings to that cringe post plant style is massive. On defense, like on these really big maps, the global impact is huge. Like, I think her buffs are really, really strong, and we didn't fully see that realized at the end of the season and in the off season. But I have a feeling that we're going to see a lot more of her next year.
Yeah, I think so.
Besides that, though, this is something that we already discussed on a previous episode. Those sunset changes that were leaked a while back are coming into reality. We can just scroll through it quick to remind people. They changed how the boxes worked in B main up here, a little less covered. That spam box is gone. They got rid of the little divot on the B site, or actually they created a divot on the B site itself, and changed around the way that back site works a little bit. I don't want to spend too much time on this because we did already talk about it, but do we think this goes far enough to fix the post-plant spam?
It makes it better. Like it's better. We're not gonna see. It's not as easy. You're kind of incentivized to fight a little bit more on site, and there's less places for you to hide in B main. Like I doubt you're gonna want to smoke yourself off anymore in B main.
Yeah.
Like hopefully, but I still need to kind of go on the actual map and see the angles. I guess to see with like the new plant spots, but it should help just because that main box in B main's gone.
Yeah, that was the big change, I think. And I think the only part I'm a bit worried about is that little like cutout bit that they have in the middle of the site. That if you plant in the corner of one of them,
An
it's
easy
not
spam.
much. Yeah, the spam still could be a bit of a problem. But I think, you know, it's not a problem if like 2 people are in main. It's a problem when 4 people are in main, right? And
Yes.
hopefully that will be fixed.
The thing is, on every map, like, I think that the game is healthy when you have to play your post plants is like a rolling retreat, and you like have to start playing on site, and then like late round you can have 2 players off if you have ults, things like that. I think that's healthy. That's like how like think of like a Sent A site. That's kind of how that map is always played, and I think it's pretty healthy. And I'm hopeful that this will strike a balance closer to that one. This tweet by Tens, I think really hit what we're talking about as a nail on the head. He says, we need more maps with actual bomb sites instead of destinations where you plant. Fall
What a
back and
poet.
either spray or util spam the spike. Most boring shit to play. First off, real as fuck. Second off, the Riot dev, who's on the map teams, replied to him and said, for what it's worth, I agree. I think it's fine if a post plan is played from main occasionally, but I don't love how prominent this play pattern is in our maps right now. I'm invested in making it better. And this does seem like a good first step towards that, at least on one of the worst offenders.
Icebox gone. Sunset changed.
Is Valorant back?
Are we back? Are we back? Is there hope? A glimmer of hope in the world again? Who knows? I don't know. We'll have to see. If Sunset still isn't changed, it's going to be very funny. Like, now we have to get rid of this map as well.
Yeah,
Delete.
that is wrong. But I mean, he touches on a really good point. It is just like a lot of the time it's just so much easier to just play a B main instead of think of like crossfires on the site and stuff. It's only like Ascent B these days and like Ascent A and stuff like that. That's kind of why Ascent's relatively good, because the bomb sites are actually like pretty decent. You have a few places that you can play around. You kind of just need to lean into that a little bit heavier instead of the spam fest. Either that or they're just going to overbuff Sage to just counter it so that everyone has to Sage wall and then you just Sage defuse.
Wall can't be shot for 5 seconds.
Yeah, that is the easy fix though, isn't it? That is like them going, well, we just buffed the Sage wall and then everyone has to play Sage and no one plays off site.
Harbor Cove, indestructible for 10 seconds.
Yeah, so we'll see what changes they decide to do. But yeah, might be like what you said as well, TMV. Like with Pearl coming in as well, it might be a similar situation to that, but we'll see. But yeah, Tens brings up a good point, and at least they can like look at the state of the maps and just be like, yeah, we agree. Let's see what we can try and do. So I respect that.
Leaks. That's the boring shit that they announce. Here's some real crazy shit. We are becoming Fortnite, baby. They're bringing floppers to Valorant. And by that I mean there was leaks of some kind of new rechargeable shield. We only have a little 5-second clip of it, but what appears to be happening is there's a shield with 50 armor points in reserve, and then after the player takes damage, starts healing up, and the shield then regens to 25, taking 25 out of the reserve, and basically giving a regenerating half armor. Is this a good direction for the game to go in? Because this feels like for the first time, right, taking like kind of a big step away from like the norms of like a tactical FPS game like Val.
I think we need more information. Is like where I'm at.
Don't make a decision now.
Yeah, basically that. I'm looking at the 5-second clip, and I was I was looking at it thinking, I was like, damn, this is the Phoenix healing, and he's getting like an overbuff, and I thought it was a Phoenix thing, but then it's just an actual shield for everyone. So yeah, we don't really know if it can only be 25, if it heals you for like a set amount, or if you can get up to 50. We don't know how much it costs. So we don't really know.
Yeah. When does it heal you?
Yeah, when
like,
does it heal? Is it just like a button?
As soon as you lose it? Yeah, what?
We don't even know if it's a new shield or if it's just like an update to what... oh no, it does say new armor type,
it says
so I
new armor
presume
type,
it's another.
So I think because this is the similar time that the Outlaw came out, so I guess we're getting a new addition to something you can buy every year is like their plan. So I look forward when the new shotgun comes out. Yeah, it's just the Judge, but long range or something.
This shit though. This is why I said snowball was the key word, because depending on the cost of this thing, snowballing is going to be crazy with regenerating armor. Like that just seems ridiculous.
But it's only half armor, from what we can tell.
Maybe.
Which to me doesn't make it feel as big a deal.
Half armor's amazing though. What do you mean?
It is. I mean, less so these days, but still good.
Fnatic buy with regen armor? That's broken.
You just get the Outlaw out.
Yeah, buy Outlaw.
So yeah, maybe this is their way of getting more Outlaw into this.
Yeah, it literally is, man. You got to play Sage for the Afterplant, and you got to play Chamber for the Outlaw. There's 2 permas that you have to now play.
And then next year we're gonna get something that makes this armor like worth it, and then we're just gonna go on a continuous cycle of like whatever last year's was, we're gonna make it good.
But honestly, I'm not that worried about this. I think this could be fine as long as they like get the price point right. I think it's a cool addition. We'll see. I'm definitely worried that you could, as long as you can't actually get like heal to 50 and it's just 25. I think it's so fine. I wouldn't even worry. I
actually think it's a cool in between if it is just 25, because right now I feel like the most like CBT part of half armor is you take one tiny piece of chip damage and suddenly you're like basically like 1 shot or 2 shot to shit. Like being able to heal back from like the edge of a shock dart you took or a little bit of a Viper Maul you had to run through when you're playing half armor is a good quality of life. So long as I imagine it should be like 700 credits or something like that like bridges the gap,
So in
maybe
between.
800. I think if it's somewhere in that ballpark, that feels honestly like it could be a pretty cool addition to the game that won't change gameplay loops all that much.
I agree. But hopefully it doesn't like encourage people to just start saving. Because imagine you're like buying that all the time, you start saving so that you can regen your arm into the next round. Like I'm a little bit worried about that kind of
The
stuff.
game in 10 years will be everyone buying Outlaw, regenerating half armor every single round.
Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not super worried. I think it will be relatively balanced or have some kind of counters, and yeah, we'll just see what the price point is.
Yeah.
What
Another
price point
leak
you
in this same
I'm getting
video
home.
was around Phoenix. It is the very same
Oh,
video.
never mind. Never mind. Sorry. I'm getting home. I'm gonna disconnect and I'll be back in a couple minutes.
Okay.
Okay, sounds good.
We're finally. Mission is complete. Goodbye.
But yeah, some leaks about changes to Phoenix in this one as well. Kurt, if we can pull it back up, it looks like they're changing his signature ability to now be the flash instead of the molly. The signature is the one that is getting the 2-kill recharge for him. So he'll presumably have one free flash every game, or every round that is, be able to buy a second, and then 2 kills get another one online. It also now looks like in that same video that his blaze wall can go through walls and work a little bit more like a harbor wall, which is, I feel like, just a pretty cool change to see.
Yeah.
Honestly, when I first saw that change, I was like, oh yeah. I mean, that's a change that I kind of thought, kind of makes sense anyway. When I started thinking about it and going on Valorant, this is a fucking monumental change. And people might not fully realize that, like, that fucking wall is fucking useless right now. It's a dog shit ability. It's one of the worst abilities in the game. It turns that wall from one of the worst abilities into the game into an ability that you will use literally every fucking single round and get good value from. Like,
Yeah.
Like, that is how monumental of a change that is. And it seems so small, but just think about it. Like, you can, the obvious example for me is just like, imagine your smokes player is dead and you're going to like Abyss A, and you can now actually just fucking wall off heaven and like have a smoke as you entry. And it lasts quite a decent amount of time, that wall. And it damages people as they go through. And one thing I always think with the Phoenix utility is that people seem to respect it more, I think, because you know how you get the little flames on your screen, and it's like, flames on my screen, no, I don't want flames on my screen. So people like respect it more just because the psychological of seeing you like, holy shit, I'm actually burning, so they won't go through it as much. And that's, I think it's going to be a monumental change. The changing the signature also, I think, is just good, because like having a free flash every round, like on ecos and on pistol round, like, it's just like, it's better than having a molly, basically, because flashes are just better.
Is Phoenix goated on Pearl? If you don't want to play Harbor, you play like Astra Phoenix. You have the wall for exec. You have the power of Astra for like the pullback star and the post plant util.
The best thing about Phoenix is that I think his flashes are the only ones that like pros can't like regularly turn like all the time. You see a breach flash, it's like you're doing fucking nothing to most pros, right? They're not getting flashed by that. But Phoenix flashes like actually do catch people out and like actually get kills. So yeah, I mean, you add in like a buffed wall. His ult was still 6 points.
That's crazy to me.
No, that is crazy, especially with teams that are getting like definitely perfecting, having like a good round and then snowballing and making sure the ecos go to the right pass and then the orbs and the plant. So I think we're going to see some Phoenix play for sure.
Yeah.
I think like double duelists might be back a little bit with some of the duelists.
Yeah,
that
this is like the world where we get like a double duelist, like Neon Phoenix comp in 2025, and it's actually a good idea.
Yeah. No, it is for sure. I think this is a good change, though. I think out of all the changes they could do, this one's pretty cool. In the wall going through, when you actually like think about it, there's a lot of stuff you can do. Like even if I'm thinking just defaulting over towards A on Haven, right? You could just block vision. That's enough for you to just create question mark over towards there. If I'm thinking of the like current sunset as well, you could go into B main. You could do a wall that breaks the original cipher trip and also fakes like that you could have walked out.
Walked out, yeah.
Yeah, like
on
I
a
think
Sent A,
there's,
you can do both the smoke, like both sides of tree.
Yeah, I think there's some really cool stuff that you could do with this. I love this change. A little bit scared about the flashes and the ult, but I think it's been so long since we've seen good Phoenixes.
Yeah.
So
it will, right? Like if you ult and then like flash and kill someone and get 2 kills, you get another flash, right? Like,
yeah.
as part of
Yeah.
your ult. So you can really
That's a
Speaking of
pretty
it.
sick snowball.
Yeah, the ult becomes insane.
Do we think then that like I don't know. I'm just thinking about this that it's like the only other 6 pip alt in the game is the Cypher alt at this point. And the fact that there is an
Reyna
agent that now is her alt still 6?
Come on, Mimi. Do you not
Oh, you're
follow
so
this game?
Yeah, I actually
Hello?
don't. Dude, you're so right. It's those 3, right? I'm not forgetting another.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. But that's crazy. I mean, compared to Reyna alt or Cypher alt, like Phoenix alt is crazy high value, I feel like.
Yeah, it's really strong. The agent at least is gonna be picked a lot in ranked. Like at the very
Oh, in
least,
ranked, yeah,
in ranked, it's gonna.
Oh, he's
dominate.
going to be a
It's
menace.
good in ranked anyway. No.
Dude, most of the ranked games now are you should pretty much warrant having double duelist every single time. I feel like the duelists are very
Don't
strong
say
at
that.
the moment. No, but it's true. Like
Don't
you
say
probably
that.
should be. Like, the duelists are in a really good spot.
Someone's going to be an agent select on like Ascent and slam the third duelist lock in and be like, "No, it's not actually bad. I was listening to this podcast." I mean, Slicky, he was the coach of Team Liquid, right? Does this mean that Scream is so back?
Dude, Scream, Victor, they were like the 2 main Phoenixes back in the day. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Like 1.3 KD maybe for both
Who was
of
that
them,
on
something like that.
CGN? Someone needs to pick him up. Benny?
Benny, yeah. Benny, the last remaining Phoenix main. That's true.
The last man standing. Really quick while we wait for Seth to boot up his PC. Isn't it crazy that Neon avoided a nerf in all of this?
It's too early, dude.
Yeah,
They
but-
want a Neon meta. Like,
yeah, just chill. Give us at least to the first Masters. Of
Yeah,
a good...
that's-
Neon is fun. Neon is fun. Give us to the first Masters of full fucking Neon sending it, then nerf it to shit.
yeah, I think that's what's going to happen. And this is always the way with just like this game. They need to see it on a big stage first before they start doing it. And like obviously they have the rank stats, but people with Neon are very varied in terms of how good they are. So I don't think the rank stats are kind of anything to go off. They'll look at it at the highest level. They'll see after the first Masters that this is a busted agent. In terms of, dude, there's just so many things that are good. Like the 2 main things that are really good is the ult is absolutely crazy. Like this is a crazy ult. It melts people. Hello, Seth. And then you also have just movement ability. Just having that as your passive is incredibly strong.
Yeah. I mean,
And
even just
sliding
like the
accuracy.
fast
I'll put a
rotates are
third one
sick.
there.
The slide is so powerful. I brought it up, but you're right. It is a good thing to keep her around.
I think,
'cause
yeah,
it's just
what-
so fun. It's so fun
Yeah,
to
it's so fun.
watch.
Yeah,
and also, it's
that's
like
the
I
thing.
think it is a skill test, even at like the pro level. Like people who have mastered Neon versus like pros who are like okay at Neon, there is a massive difference. That's
Yeah.
cool.
I know, I agree. I think it'll be fun for a little bit, so let's give into the first Masters. Let everyone show what they've been doing in the off season. Let's see how good the Neons are, and then we gotta
And then
we
delete her from
gotta
the
address the agent.
Let's let
Yeah.
Sin Prissa win a trophy on their first stage, their first international, and then crush them.
And you know what? I think that's beautiful. Something that was going crazy this offseason that I think surprised a lot of people with just how popular it was the Asia Pacific qualifier for Red Bull Homeground. We talked about the NA qualifier of this one earlier on, but the Asian one just went down and had some really heavy hitters. You had, 5 VCT teams playing in this one, and it was the first look at a lot of them. And
Team Blue went hard.
yeah, Team Blue, the big one we're
Dude.
looking at. And I think the
Blew 'em out
question
of the
coming out
water.
of this, as T1 was the team to take down the finals over Zeta Division, what teams are we more excited by? What teams are we less excited by after getting to see this little sneak peek?
Can I not even a
None.
team, but like just region? I'm excited for
Sure.
Japan. I'm excited for Japan. DMF and Zeta both had their moments throughout this
DMF?
run, and sorry,
I
DFM.
was gonna slide.
I did a certain fucking thing when I was streaming. DMF is
At
Dark
9%
Moon Fair,
going
and I've been
through
playing so much World of Warcraft that I'm just wow pilled. So I keep saying Dark Moon Fair instead of Detonation Focus Me. DFM and Zeta. I am excited for both of these teams. I think that the upgrades on both look fantastic. I think that the mainstays on both teams look very, very good. Depp, Sugar Zero, May, etc. Like they all continued really strong performances individually in this tournament, but the additions to the rosters were
pretty much the shining light, I think, for both squads throughout this weekend.
Yeah, I feel like when I looked at it, every team pretty much got an upgrade from last year. So I think that's also seems to be the trend of this year, but bar like maybe 5 teams, I would say overall.
Call them out, Sliggy.
There'll be an episode where we do that, I imagine. So I think Pacific wise, I'm pretty excited. That's at least looking a little bit better as well. Like they have some good players, man. That Shota guy is really, really good. He impressed me a lot. It's like the first time I've like properly watched him. He was fragging out heavy, and the IGL was impressing me as well. I'm a little bit worried about, is it XDLL?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
A little bit worried about his decision making in certain situations. He likes to absolutely send it when he needs to stay alive. So that's like my one worry really early off the bat. But in terms of Zeta, yeah, pretty excited. And it looks like DMF, if we're calling them that, DFM. It looks like they got a bit of a just firepower increase as well. So yeah, it should be a fun year. And then I guess we can start talking about T1 as well, because T1 looked really good until they used the Vice, and then it didn't look good. But if you take away the Vice, like they actually look relatively scary. This is
I mean, but I feel like that was still only just one map where the
Lotus?
Vice didn't look great.
The
Like
Lotus.
it was that Lotus, that first one they played,
Sure.
and then the Bind, the first one they played was a little bit rough versus Crest.
Yeah.
But then when they ran it in the final, I mean, Meteor was frying on it on Bind. So I think it definitely has legs. I think
I
they
think
just
that
needed a
Lotus
little bit more
comp is
time.
just like hard troll. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, Lotus isn't in anymore, so.
But
they're
it's
fine.
not in the pool.
Yeah, true.
I do think the bind comp has
I fully
legs though.
think that Lotus was basically fan service.
Sure, cool, that's great.
Yeah.
But I do think that the Vice could have potential on bind, right? Like it's a
Yeah.
map you
Well, they-
already most of the time aren't playing a Sentinel. It's one of the few maps in the pool where you do kind of have that like 5th flex slot that if it's an agent they're comfortable with and continue to grow with, I think it would be kind of cool to get to see that one pulled out. So I didn't mind the innovation there. And other than that first Lotus loss, and one loss in the finals, it was a pretty flawless tournament from T1.
Yeah, I think, especially when you're watching that bind that they played in the final, like, I know, obviously, like, this tournament, you know, it's an off-season tournament. These teams, fuck knows how long they've actually been practicing together, and I think you saw that sometimes. You know, there was moments, I think of one on that bind map where Zeta, the Neon sprints in, Deb sprinting in, he gets deadlocked, grav netted by his own team, he's just sitting there,
They
uses the
had
stun, dies from
not
the side.
pracked it much.
Yeah, there was clearly some problems, but I did think like on that map you did see like, hey, against this Neon, you know, Depp was getting separated from the team all the time. You know, like he's got 7 first deaths. You know, Meteor's 7-0 in first kills as well. Like, you know, he was just going in, getting walled off, dying. The rest of Zeta are just scrambling, figuring out what to do. So like, I do think there's definitely legs for it. I think it'd be interesting for T1. In fact, I'm going to ask you all a question. What is your expectation? What do you want to see from T1? What should they be aiming for in 2025?
This roster should be aiming. Sliggy and I talked about this a little bit as we were going over the grand final together. This roster with the team that they have should be aiming for pretty much every international event. Bangkok being obviously the toughest one because it's 2 slots, but just given the veteran scene that you have here, and I think the overall talent, this is a team that needs to be punching for the top position in the league. And if they're not, then something's gone horrendously wrong.
What do you think they do at internationals? How deep do you think they could go?
They fuck on everyone. Like, come on, man. Like,
Is he gone again?
He's gone. That's the statement that killed him.
He fades out. He fades
That
out.
was sick. Yeah, nice
The
transition.
CEO of Gen.G took down his stream.
I do think they can win an event. Like I really do.
Really?
Like yeah.
That
Do you not see how good their ascent was? Like when you
Yeah,
see
no,
their
no,
ascent
I-
and everything's going well, I'm like, damn, this is a scary team.
I see that they're a kind of team though that I think like, I don't know, just looking at their names, I sometimes worry that like, you know, Buzz can be on fire sometimes, but sometimes he's a little quiet. And I think players like Itsu, you know, can be kind of a bit similar. I just worry for them that like, could they go fucking crazy nuclear hot and like destroy everyone? Maybe. But I do worry that like, You know, could they be a bit like a kind of Leviathan from this last year, right? Where when
Mm.
they're good, but when they're bad, it's like, holy fuck, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, I think a lot of it is gonna honestly come down to like the coaching and how strong of a leader Stacks is. Like, is this the kind of team that is gonna let some of that silliness fly, that is gonna have to rely on a lot of those individuals, or are they gonna really build up that proper structure? I think that's what was so successful for Gen.G this year, because they're a team that had like a lot of great players and like showed potential, but I think what
Speak
really
of Gen.G
made them.
and Seth comes back.
Hello,
What did I
Seth.
do? What did I? God, what have I done to upset you? What is happening? There's some ethereal force that is trying to prevent me from being on this Plat Chat episode. Like, there's a fucking time traveler somewhere that is doing everything to stop me from being on this episode, because if I get through and I finally get to complete this episode, the world ends or something. Like, it feels like it's a plot of a Netflix shitty fucking C-tier show. I don't know what's happening. Anyway, what I said about T1, I'll hold by that. They should be winning events. We're talking about Gen.G.
Yeah, I was just saying, like, if they build up a good structure around this team, I think there is a chance to build more consistency that these players haven't had in the past. I think especially bringing in Stacks, bringing in Meteor, bringing in like that kind of experienced players. But yeah, outside of just looking ahead to next year, them winning this event means they go to the Red Bull World Finals, which is going to be in Berlin, I think, in November. I think pretty much like right after Game Changers Championship there as well. So we'll get to see them. We'll get to see, what was it, Cloud9 that won the NA qualifier, Fnatic, Heretics, Carmine Core. Like, this is looking to be like kind of a banger off-season event. You have some real big names on there.
I think G2 is also likely to be in that list, right? They're part of the international qualifiers, so
Yeah, I think that's right. They're most likely.
they
to win
and
that one as
Gozen
well.
are both on the invite list. So
Yeah, you would imagine that. It'd do if G2 make this. That is a really stacked event. It's gonna be awesome.
What could make it as well from the Turkey one? So you could be looking at like basically an international tournament. Basically.
I'm actually a little bit pissed because I was checking the times on this, and I think that this is right when I'm going over to Tokyo, so I actually won't even be able to co-stream it.
Right, I got you.
November 22 to 23 is the date.
Wait, 22.
So yeah, it's just gonna be Berlin max for VCT stuff, because GCC ends November 17th, and then just that next weekend is this Red Bull event. So yeah, it should be a pretty hype event. T1 looked pretty sick, and beyond just the teams we saw, I think we also saw an insane amount of viewership, peaking almost 200K concurrents for an off-season event, especially in Asia, in Japan. I think that this bodes pretty well for as we've seen before, just how strong the Japanese fan base is for this game.
Oh yeah, dude! Shout out
I
to
think-
Laz, right? He had most of the numbers
Yeah.
here. I think.
I was going to say he was a quarter of that alone. He had like 50,000 concurrents on his own stream, and I think that the last year's Red Bull was already a testament to how big it was, because I think that like for them to bring it back to the same venue in Japan, like running esports events in Japan is not necessarily easy, nor is it cheap compared to a lot of other options that you have, including Korea. And I think for
Casual
people to
Korea
just-
shell there.
No. But what I'm saying is like it is a little bit more expensive than Korea, which has kind of been like the hub. And for Red Bull to say like we want to go back to Tokyo in the same venue, which is a sumo wrestling arena that has been around for
Which
a
is so
very long
sick, by the
time.
way.
It's so cool. I couldn't stop talking about it when I was co-streaming this, because I was like, I want people to actually understand how neat this is. But yeah, like for them to just say like, fuck it, let's run it back again next year, I think speaks to just how well last year's event went and how they see just the market in Japan to be. And I think that there's just kind of no end in sight for that. So the Japanese fans are hungry. You could just I also said this, like the crowd mic balance was perfect through this event. You could hear every single ooh ah, the claps between the rounds and everything like that from the Japanese fans. Like they still just will continue to support every single team, and there was pretty much every single player, I'd say, represented by somebody in the audience with a fan sign.
Yeah.
No matter which game it was. If it was T1 playing, there was Stacks fans. If it was Crest there, there was constantly just tons of fans out there that were just rooting for individual players, and that's the exact kind of thing you want to see.
And by the way, this is also coming in the same year where Ascension Pacific was planned to be in Tokyo, and they had to, for whatever reason, had to move it to I forget where they ended, but it was no longer in
Indonesia, it was
Japan.
Jakarta.
Yeah, in Jakarta, Indonesia. So getting an event in Japan and getting to kind of showcase just how damn good those fans are again is pretty sick. Kind of crushed the NA qualifier too in terms of viewership. NA peak occurrence 140K, average occurrence 94. This APAC qualifier average 140, peak almost 200,000. So pretty big ups to Asian Valorant there and to Japan specifically for pulling that one off. Let's move on though to some of the roster mania that's been going on. And of course, something that is really breaking news. 100 Thieves signed Zander, and you know, Kurt, I feel like we talked about this one already. I don't know if we can maybe pull up what we said about this, because I feel like we probably won't have too much to add.
Someone may have jumbled the doc a bit if someone wants to press Control-Z a few times. I can't find the clip now. Look at our document. What happened?
Guys, everyone press Control-Z.
Hey, it looks
okay.
normal for me.
There
I don't
we go.
even
It's
have the docs
fixed.
open. I
Shout
just
out,
got
go.
back.
shout out to
Okay, there it
Control-Z.
is.
All right, let me get this up. But yeah, the last time we talked about 100 Thieves, this is what we had to say. It was very insightful.
But Zander tweeted that he signed a contract, and the report was that it's 100 Thieves. What do you reckon about that move?
Good.
Holy shit, we didn't have to be that quick fire.
Yeah, next.
Next.
All right, next.
That's it.
Yeah,
for
we
going.
didn't say
Thanks
that
for
much.
You were
Um,
right though. It's a good move.
It was a good
Yeah.
move. Does anyone
Yeah,
want to
what
give any
what-
more
what are
context
people
on why it
complaining
was
about?
good?
Yeah,
You didn't say it was
nailed
shit. You didn't
Yeah,
say
we
like,
nailed
I don't know how to feel about that. You said it was good. Fucking Xander fans, 100 Thieves fans, move on with your lives. Why are you lingering on this?
Are we gonna move on from this? Is that it?
It was a good move.
Yeah.
It was no, it is
Good
a good move. It's about time this guy got like a proper go at it though, because he's pretty talented to be fair. And from what I can tell, he does a lot of like IGLing or second IGLing at least. Like he's had good experience there, so like he's a good asset to the team. The guy's a fragger as well.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, this is the ultimate. Ghost gaming fans and like fans of that era of Valorant, M80 last year, everyone's rubbing their hands together that all these players that have been in the doldrums for a long time are getting this chance. Like, he spent almost 2 years on M80, failing to qualify twice after having insane runs, stomping NA Tier 2 both times, and he's finally getting a chance in the Partnership League, which I just think is so well deserved. He's a super strong individual player. He's really flexible. In the past, he's been like an IGL and a voice for teams, and I think he's just a great controller player to fill the shoes of Bang, who was on this team before.
Are there
Is that
any
whole
worse
announcement
actors than
video?
esports pros? Is that something
You can
that
get good shit out. You can get good shit out of esports pros sometimes. It is very dependent.
In what, the
As
like
somebody who
announcement
used
videos?
to literally used to work in content activations and film shit for Team Liquid. But I was gonna say, like, it was that the whole announcement video, because I thought that I didn't even hear it. I didn't have the audio on. I thought it was ass. I'm doing step up the game.
What the hell?
That the shot that cuts awkward, just booty
Well,
cheeks.
didn't 100 Thieves lay off all their content staff?
Well, that would explain it. Hire him back, because this is not good.
I don't know if that's true or not, but they did have like massive layoffs like earlier this year, right?
Probably. I mean, you
Yeah.
can see the hesitation and the step out. He was like, "Oh, is this foot in focus? Is it in the right position for the camera shot?" Like, it's just, this is amateur hour shit. I could do this with a fucking Logitech C920 webcam, make it look better.
There's just no way you could do better with a webcam. That's just
you know
not
what?
true.
Honestly, you definitely could. You could do
I
a
might
Blair
try.
Witch style like fucking announcement video. Would go hard, I think.
Dude, all I'm
I
thinking
might
is
try
like
just as a joke.
the one guy that like put this together. This is like his first show, and he's like really happy with it. He's like, "Yes, I've done really good." And he watches this, and it's just
Oh,
absolutely.
I hope I don't
shattered
shit on
by it.
anyone's hopes and
Yeah,
dreams.
dude, he just absolutely flamed him, poor dude. I thought it was
Alright.
good, whoever you are.
You told somebody to molly themselves, you know, it's all fine.
I mean, that was warranted.
From a video production perspective, mine was as well.
Okay.
The double down is crazy. All right, well there you go, 100 Thieves fans. There's your slop. Go eat it. Next topic. Sentinels complete their roster. We're talking about Ghost Gaming eating good. They've signed a new assistant coach in Gunter, who was with M80 for quite a while on their run, and was also the assistant coach for Kaplan back when he and John QT were a thing on Ghost Gaming. I don't know a ton about this guy other than obviously the achievements of the teams he's been a part of, but seems to be something that makes sense, going back and kind of having the same leadership team as two successful squads in the past.
I kind of just
Yeah.
want to see Seth roast every announcement video. I kind of just want to
Just
go back and
go through them and
see what Seth thinks of.
There's a little bit less. There's a little bit less of roast when it's just Kaplan sitting down. I assume Kaplan sitting down, just being like, "Hey, this is
What's up,
blah, blah,
Sen
blah, this
City?
is happening.
Big news today."
What's up, Sen City? Blah 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 blah." And like,
Why
I
did you
can't
slip
do
into
too
the
much more.
Obama voice for a second there?
Hello. I like to address Sin City. Let me be clear. I'm adding a assistant coach that I have a lot of faith in, and I've worked with in the past. And I think that he's going to do a very good job. I don't know.
Let me be clear.
I
You
mean,
were
I
saying
think-
TMV? Or Sliggy? Someone was
Yeah,
saying.
I was gonna say I think this is good though. Like, it always speaks volumes when someone has worked with someone in the past and then they bring them back as well. Especially when they spend like I guess that they worked together like 2 years ago. It's definitely been a while. So I think that's pretty cool because I think in 2021, I can't remember when Ghost Gaming was around. Like end of 2021, maybe 2022.
2022.
Yeah,
No,
they were-
2021, I think.
Yeah, I think it was 2021.
Wait.
Um,
I think it was actually. No, because Kaplan
feel
was
it was
like.
later
Kaplan was a
because I-
player in 2021, wasn't he?
In 2021, I feel like I wouldn't have
is this
known Ghost Game.
2022? Yeah, okay. But then, I mean, it still speaks volumes that they're kind of bringing them back. Yeah, I think, I mean, again, it's so hard to know about like assistant coaches and coaches, but considering how good M80 looked and like the players at least seem to talk highly of him for like from M80. He's a Slug Club member for like 30 plus months. I gotta big him up. Must be good. He paid me to say it, basically. Big him up.
Paid show.
So honorable.
Paid show, yeah.
It only costs
It's like
what is
he's gonna
that,
be at
like
McDonald's soon.
$75?
Dude, I
Throwing
feel like I'm in
fries out the
McDonald's at the
window.
moment, man. Mini. Someone needs to hire Mini again. He's got me doing the Fnatic Coach Potatoes Haven, right? So we're doing the Fnatic Haven. I had to do 121 videos. This guy needs to get picked up by a team. He's making me work crazy amounts. Like I would get more working McDonald's, man, doing the Trump arc. So yeah, it's someone hire Mini, man. He's working me too hard. What we talk about? I'm so I wanted to
We were
rant
talking
about Mini for
about
a bit.
McDonald's, right?
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
And how hard you were working.
What is this?
What is this mini tweet?
Oh yeah, let's
That
actually
make it
do
feel like
this.
a real map design approach at TDM. Oh, dude,
Just like
these.
an A map?
Okay, hold on. That's actually a fucking banger recommendation. The CSA maps.
Yeah,
that-
they're incredible.
Anyone who played Counter Strike when they were younger grew up on this shit. Like these maps, 1v1 against your friend. Friendships were made or broken on this.
And it was perfect because it was literally just there's a bunch of shit that blocks you and then an open space in between,
Yep.
Yeah.
which is all you
Yeah.
really need.
Just straight up aim drills instantly. You don't have to run
Yeah.
around, have your sound up and find someone. It's just straight up aim drills. You spawn, you insta swing, there's someone shooting you. It's sick. They definitely need this. Dude, we should do a whole episode where we just give what we would change about the game. That would be
Yeah.
awesome. Like this. I like someone in my chat did a good one. They said that you should plant orbs and diffuse orbs shouldn't be a thing. And so it stops the snowball. That one's really nice. You don't get anything for planting or diffusing. No more third round like ults to kind of snowball. It'll add up. It's pretty good. Think
True.
about it for the next one.
And it would add up. Vitality, though, have added some crazy names to their roster. They just this week announced that they're putting together a squad that I think could be in the running to be a bit of a super team. They've signed Les and Durka to add into the fold, and this is looking like a really, really scary roster. They've been teasing this for a long time about the fact that Durka's gonna join. He's by the fuckable bee, and now it's real. It's happening. Les is
that what we're
joining
calling
him.
it?
Yeah.
What?
What else would you call it?
A bee. Just a normal.
Well, I mean, but I feel like you
What?
have to have some specificity. There are a lot
Very
of Bs
obvious
in
that
this
it's
world.
fuckable, Sliggy. So
I'm so out of the know on this. What
Have you
the
not seen
hell
this
are you
bee?
talking about?
Have you not seen this B?
No, I have
Kurt, can we
not
pull up
seen
the
the
bee?
bee.
I've seen so much of this. Hold on.
Kurt
no,
has an
Kurt.
entire drive
wait,
on
what
Plat
does that
Chat.
mean,
He's seen
Kurt?
the
What does
bee.
that mean?
Yeah.
I've seen
I
so
can't
much
even
of it.
imagine.
Why?
I've seen too much. Just digging up
Folders,
assets.
downloads.
I can't imagine how much this show has irreparably fucked Kurt's search engine and his algorithm.
Yeah, that's so
My
true.
It's
computer
so
is-
beyond hope.
Okay, so they made Vitality made this post a few days ago. What's your V mood? So you just click on it. This will be our B mood, by the way.
Okay.
Why
Okay,
is
tell me when
this?
to click.
Why is this referred to as the fuckable bee?
You'll see.
That's what I'm saying, dude.
I mean, come on, come on.
It looks like one of those tiny, like, blue alien things that was in, like, Galaxy Quest or whatever.
And
Those weren't fuckable.
okay,
I have another thing.
You know
There
what?
go.
different strokes for different folks. You don't have to love the bee. That's all right. You don't have to love the bee, Seth. But you do have to love this team.
Oh, God.
Les and Durka on the roster. Safe allegedly IGLing. What do we make of this? Let's talk first about just the fact that it's kind of a changing of the guard. It's the first time in Les's career that he's going to be making a move like this and leaving the motherbird's nest.
I mean, his career is still fairly new. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
I mean,
He's a young dude,
in
right?
just esports terms, like, so. But I mean, great. The biggest question I think that anyone's going to draw is the IGL question with Safe picking it up. You know, how is that going to look? Like, I trust Safe as a player overall. I think that he's incredibly talented. I think that he's very smart with his decision making for the most part. I think that he gets a lot of flack for being on Sentinel. And granted, like, I've jokingly given him some flack in the past for his Sentinel play compared to his duelist play. And I've made jokes about, like, oh, they're going to pivot it back to that. But I don't know what it looks like with him playing as an IGL.
Yeah, I think that's basically the main question. Because initially, when they made all these roster moves, my assumption was that Sender would stay and be the IGL, and they would just have Sender plus 4 crazy players. Instead, they're getting rid of Sender and Kicks is staying, right? I'm pretty sure
We
that's what
don't
has happened.
know
No, I'm
for
pretty sure it
sure.
is because if you look at the
There was a video,
Durka
right?
announcement video, there's like, they have
Yeah.
like a whiteboard and Kicks is on it with the other players. So I'm pretty sure it is Kicks instead. Which brings up another question to me of like, who's playing Smokes? Because as we said, like maybe Astra is
good.
going to become more
I can roast
prominent.
this.
So if Astra becomes more prominent, it's like, okay, you probably have someone who can just play Omen because, you know, it's not that hard. But but
This
can
is
they play
already
Astra
better
as
than
well?
100 Thieves.
I knew he was going to say that, yeah. Yeah, it's I mean, the firepower is crazy. And again, going back to Les, like, Les is one of the best mechanical players in the game. Like, he's really good. Movement-wise, if you study his movement, he's, like, one of the best and, like, smartest, like, during duels with
There he is
duels.
again.
Oh,
What the
for
wingman
fuck's sake.
doing?
What's he
Oh,
done
this
now?
is detracting from the
Yeah,
quality.
Yeah, fucking up again.
Oh,
typical.
No, it's kinda
Oh,
cute.
it flew away from him. Okay. I thought it was just gonna be him walking across various horizons. I see they're actually adding it. Like it's a journey. He's playing Death Stranding right there in that last one.
You guys don't respect how much labor it takes to be wingman. How
Okay,
hard
overall creative. I'll give it a.
Look at that
I'll give this a
acting. Look
six-
at that smile.
6 out of
Yeah,
10
he's
with
got-
no audio.
He's got years behind him with acting, though. He's been there for a while.
Dude, why the fuck don't we use WhatsApp in America? That shit is so gas.
Yeah,
Like,
dude, I didn't
people
realize
who
you
use
guys didn't use
iMessage
it.
are psychos. Like, just, it's so much better. Anyways, Les is obviously huge, but Durka as well. On topic. It's the same for him. For the first time in his career, not being on Fnatic, he's been with Boaster, with Mini since the dawn of time, and is also kind of making a move outside the nest. We've seen super teams fail in the past in Valorant. We saw the Sentinels debacle in 2023. We've seen moves like this fall apart. We saw Leviathan not quite manage to pull it off at the end of last year. Is this team different? And if so, why do we think it is?
I think those comparisons aren't too bad. Like, if you had the similar year to Lev, that's not too bad. If you had a similar year, I've seen people comparing him to NRG. If you had a similar year to NRG, then it's an absolute
NRG was not a
failure.
super team.
NRG,
People said
NRG
they
was
were.
NRG was
This
a
is-
super team.
And they were wrong. And
Yeah,
they were wrong.
The team
We
was
were
dog
wrong.
shit. But people
No,
at the start of the season had NRG top of. In fact, we could go back to the Plat Chat power ranking tier list if you want, and I bet fucking NRG are at the
I'd
top.
do it again if they reformed and do it. I would
definitely
put them at the top again. It's a super team. How they looked that shit is
Yeah.
unbelievably
Impressive.
impressive.
It's impressive
No,
to
it
be
really
that
is
bad.
impressive that they managed to look that bad. Like
But
I'd have
unsurprising.
mad respect for them looking that bad.
I don't think this is a super team, though.
Oh,
I have
yes, no.
respect for Kicks. I have respect for Trex. I have respect for Safe, but I don't think that's a super team. Like,
What?
This
This is better than
this is
left.
a super team, bro.
they have
Better
two.
than Lev.
They have three of like I think the best like. I think three of the best European players that have not been on like a tippity top team just yet, and I think they have two signings of some real all-stars. But that a super team does not make. A super team to me is like 5 players that are all clearly best in slot, that have proven the potential before, that is like going to take heads. This is a really exciting roster that I think has a ton of potential and some quality players. It ain't a super team.
God, you're so NA pilled.
That's
You'll be
insane.
talking about the Cloud9 roster like it's the next coming of Jesus.
I don't
Dude,
think
when?
this is a super
When?
team until Safe proves his IGLing.
It's
Like,
a super
once
team
that's
on
done,
paper,
then
though.
I'm
On
it's
paper,
fine.
yeah, I
But
agree.
think
I agree,
there's,
Seth.
there's a barrier of entry, and then once that has been breached, we are fine to call it a super team.
I agree
Yeah.
that the one
I've had enough of the
downfall is-
fucking word super team. There can't be
Yeah,
like
but this
12
one,
super
like,
teams
above
in
No, but
here.
this
You've
is
got
a super
Please,
team.
let's
No,
stop
you-
calling
Kicks,
teams super
the
teams.
literal other 4 players on this team, less it has been in what most people's top 10 list the last 2-3 years.
Every
Yeah.
international
Gurka,
event.
same
Yeah.
fucking thing. Safe was like the best duelist
Yeah.
in EMEA in the first season, and
The
then when
best
he wasn't,
duelist, not the
yeah,
best
and then when he was
IGL.
back on duelist, he was again one of the
He
best
got
duelists last year.
grouped to champions.
Fucking
and
Trex
dropped a
has been one of the
stinker.
best players of all time forever, but no one ever fucking realized. But now he is, because have you watched him play? I will play.
He's one of the
I will
goats,
sit
but
you
he's not a
down in a
superstar.
chat and make you watch that 1v5 versus Navi
I've seen it
over and
I've
over
seen
and over
it.
again.
I think he's an excellent player. Excellent players a super team does not make.
One
We
scene
got
over and over.
the short.
And there's Kicks.
Surely, a
And
super
there's
team.
Kicks. It's crazy.
we got 4 players that are in most people's top 20. Surely that makes a super team. Unless
It
you're like in the
makes a top
CS thing where you're like, it's only if Zywoo, Simple, and like all these guys are together, and you can only ever have like
That's not
one
the CS
super
thing.
team
That's
if
just
they
the
all go.
right thing.
I think
Until they sign Zywoo, they're not a super team.
You can have a super
think
team,
last
one in
year-
each region.
If they sign
La-
Faker, it's a super team.
I think no, it's definitely not. But I think that if you looked last year and this was the thing, you could say super team. But after the NRG thing, I think that it is unsafe to call any team without.
It can't
a-
happen
it's
again,
unsafe,
guys.
sure.
Guys,
Oh,
it
they
can't
could
happen
be dog
again.
shit, but that just adds to the narrative. Yeah, it's unsafe.
oh,
but I don't
okay,
give a
okay,
shit how
okay,
they
in
do.
this case, then yes, I agree. Super team, because it's either
Yeah,
super team
make 'em
or
up.
super shit team. So it's one or the other.
So it's
So,
just a good
in that
team with
case,
high
fine.
levels of potential and some great players. That a super team does not make.
Yeah, it's
What?
a super team. It's on paper, it is a super team.
Okay, they are a super team. Are they expected to win Champions 2025?
They will
right
be
now.
expecting it.
If you looked at
Yeah,
the
I
paper,
would.
they'd be in the top 3 for it.
Top
Yeah,
3.
for
Are
sure.
they expected to win?
Well, we don't know because of Safe's IGL.
There's other good teams. Yeah,
So they're
that's
not.
the problem.
No, but there's a barrier.
You,
but
you
they...
can have a super team, 1 in each region.
No, you can't.
Agree.
No, you
Yeah, you
can't.
can.
They're gonna
I
be
do
one.
not
They're
agree
gonna
with
be
those
one.
parameters.
If I fucking watch,
this
here's what when you have multiple superheroes, so you see what happened to the fucking Marvel Cinematic Universe. That stuff is ass. The more superheroes you have, the more diluted it gets. The more no one cares anymore. We have to
That's
save super team for the
not
creme of the
applicable
creme,
here.
the perfect team. God's gift to Valorant
We're never
descended
gonna
from the
have it.
fucking heavens.
That's
So
not
your
applicable
only
here.
super team, Mimi, is the literal 5 best players in the fucking
Yes!
world on one team
Yes!
together. That probably can't even fucking happen because of the import rules.
Exactly.
So we can never have a super
So
team.
there are no
Exactly.
super teams. Okay, I'm
It's a
glad we
great
sorted that
team
out.
with high potential.
So yeah,
They'll,
I mean,
they'll
this-
probably get first rounded. Like,
guys, it's so
the more
hard.
the more the teams get gassed up on this program or just by the general
Nah,
public, the more likely they are to just fucking fail. Like I don't know,
Nah,
like
dude,
it's just
it can't look.
It's gonna
it-
suck.
you guys
They're
are
gonna
just
suck.
You guys are tainted from NRG. It's so untainted. It's so hard to do what they did. There's been plenty of teams that have looked good without
Do you
an
remember
IGL.
watching
As long as there's a
Leviathan
good
all
coach
year?
and they're all kind of solid with it and everyone's listening, everyone's putting in time.
Do you
It was
remember
so fun.
watching Leviathan this year? So you watch every game.
Bro, they
You
did
watched
good
Americas.
this year.
They looked like. Do you remember
They
them
finished
going to an
third
event?
in the
It looked
world.
like they were.
Third.
It looked
You're
like
call-
E6 should have been called.
They finished
Like-
third. They finished third in the world. It's not
At
a super
champions.
team. Look at the names.
Champions.
Yeah, but that's the thing.
Yeah,
Lev,
the biggest
the
tournament
names
of
aren't
the
as
year.
good as Vitality anyway.
That was not a super team year. They had a
Oh, now
great
you got me
finish.
going the
But
other
it's not
way
a-
here,
but
maybe,
Lev
because
wasn't a
you're
super team.
quantifying everything by the champions finish. Like, so yeah, for them
I'm
to
so
finish third at
confused.
champs is pretty
Did you think
fucking
Lev
good.
was a super team?
Oh, I'm saying people said that. I'm not saying I said that. I'm saying people
They
said
just
that.
meant aspas.
Oh.
Yeah,
I
they
like
just
aspas.
meant aspas. Yeah.
They meant I like aspas and Com just won champs. Super team.
Or is it
That's what that
not?
was.
I like less, and these are some of the best.
I
No,
like a
because
player
these-
who's been a top
These
10
are
player
players,
for 2 years.
Aye, exactly that. Players that we
Yes.
put in our top 10 and top 20 consistently.
Okay, let's
We
let's
got
pull
boost
back.
kicks.
Let's pull back a second. Let's walk away from the ledge. Let's walk away from the ledge. We don't like being on that ledge, folks. We don't like it. EMEA. Where are they placing? You have Team Heretics in the
yeah.
region. You have whatever Fnatic's gonna look like. Who fucking knows?
It's,
In the region. Is this the number one team in Europe?
it's between them and Heretics, with a Fnatic that could probably
maybe.
upset.
Is
Yeah.
Heretics a super team?
Yeah,
I
you
mean,
wouldn't-
the
you
way it
wouldn't
was
say it on
formed
paper,
is
but-
no. Like, the way Heretics was formed was not a super team.
I
because
think
Are
not
they a
big
super team? It's a
names.
simple question. Yes or no?
Fuck.
Simple
I mean,
question.
no,
After,
no.
after last year, they're slowly getting there.
That's not how super teams work. They can be a super great team, but that
Yeah,
doesn't
but
make them
how
a super
how you
team.
know how are you meant to know about the potential of one player if you've never seen him play loads? These are proven players that we know are in the top 20, top 10.
When
That's
people
like
say
you going back
super
in the
team-
past and be like, yeah, Heretics, look at this guy. Woo, I know all about him. Let's
Okay.
put him at the top before he's proven
I'm
anything.
asking for the future.
Heretics hasn't changed anything.
Is that not what you're
Yeah,
doing?
actually.
Is that not what you're doing with Safe, who's never IG? Like,
Safe as IGL before.
okay, that's so true, and I lied, but like, still, I think it's still a question.
Okay. Heretics hasn't changed anything that we know of, right? It's the same team.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Then I would
Yeah,
say that they're not a super team in the current definition of a super team, which is in the off season where a bunch of people come together and form a new team. By that definition, I would say no, they are not. By the just a normal human being's definition, I would say yes, they are a super team because of what these 5 players
People
have
are
been
too
able to
happy
do
in Valorant.
throughout
They
the
want everyone to be
2024
good. They
season.
want everyone to be super. We need like less joy in this scene.
Come on then, Mimi. Who's your shit teams?
Yeah,
My
it's-
shit team.
Call them out right now.
Who is the
We got a list.
all-time shit team?
mean,
MIBR.
and- And
But
I'll
wait, they're
just-
signing aspas.
You can
All right,
segue
let's-
to that if you want.
Granted, not where I thought
Yeah,
you were gonna go.
let's bump that up a little bit because another roster news is that there's rumors that aspas could be joining Made in Brazil, which would be an all-timer wild move. I didn't know that MIBR bought like that. I didn't know they were dropping fat racks and $50 bills. What the fuck am I saying? All over the place. If this is
Clearly
real,
so out of your element.
and if this happens, would be an all-time crazy move. If he does join this roster, he'd be reunited with Fraud, his coach, at least in part during the his run at Loud. And you see that MIBR's Paula, a player, even tweeted out in this one, "God only knows ... or sorry, God knows everything ... which is some cryptic shit. So there's a chance this is real. He was saying that he wanted to play in Asia if he could, wanted to go over, that they were talking to Bleed, but are still open to offers. Is this a good move for aspas? Is this MIBR coming back and looking good, or would this be a career ender?
I mean, it's never going to be a career ender with this guy. He'll be fine. I'm just surprised because wasn't this the team that was rumored to be spending their money from Valorant on CS? Was that all a lie? Are they
Yeah,
now
I
doing
think
the
that was a
opposite and
lie.
spending
Not
the
sure.
CS money on the Valorant now? Because they
This-
must have forked out a lot to buy this guy.
And they're getting
This
a
feels a
category
bit
deal.
like Falcons renting Simple in CS.
Okay.
Almost like where it's just this team that's like pretty far down the list, not really punching up too much. They're like 21st or something in like global rankings. And they're like, let's get the GOAT. That's gonna make everything work. And they're
It can't
doing
hurt.
it. But it could.
yeah,
I mean,
it's
you never
gonna-
know. I mean, I would assume that it's nothing but improvement from here. But
Yeah.
how far does that
100%.
improvement carry is kind of the question.
I mean, I just think like, what? Good for MIBR. Get better. Like, why?
Sure.
What? Would you want them to just fucking because they haven't done anything before? Like, just sit there doing nothing, twiddling their thumbs. Like, good for them.
Yeah.
Go for it. I do think it's interesting that the teams like. I wonder if the teams that are shit, as the deadline like approaches of when teams are gonna get replaced, like MIBR are like, fucking get aspas. Let's get an academy team as well to get in Riot's good books, and let's just fucking make sure that these next 2 years we're not getting kicked out. We can sign another contract, and then we'll fucking chill for 2 years again.
Yeah, it's a good move. I mean, it's a great pickup. The guy's incredible. And I think that Fraud's kind of been proven to use him very well as well. So there's that. And I heard that like a lot of... dude, I rate Fraud as well. So I think it at least makes this team more exciting to watch.
Yeah,
So
I
that's
mean, you
gonna be
heard
cool.
when he was on Loud, the players talk a lot about his impact. I think, especially around like planning their pistol rounds, doing more to like plan some of the micro stuff of the game. He's a guy who, I mean, for this team basically, like he grew up as a Spanish speaker, but he didn't speak Portuguese. He like learned the language to have the opportunities with these teams, and is obviously like a legend in his own right from his history in I think it was 1.6 that he played in CS. So. A really respected player, and I imagine that is a big part of the allure for aspas if he had a good time playing with him previously to be able to be back with him. I think the real question is if they get aspas, can the rest of the roster step up and be of the quality to deliver on what we expect from that player? Because I didn't feel like, obviously, the firepower was part of it, but to me, watching MIBR last year, so many of the issues were around the macro, trolling their economy at times, not playing together in these retakes, not like playing to the fundamentals. Quite honestly, there was a lot of fundamental problems with this team, and getting one superstar in is not going to fix that in an instant. So I'm just very hopeful that if this is real, whatever practice they've had in the offseason, however they've grown, can iron out a lot of those issues, and that aspas could help bring the atmosphere that will fix those things and let this team have success. Because I think it would be pretty sad to see him go to an MIBR that ends up floundering for a third year in a row.
Yeah, I mean, they look better in stage 2, right?
They did.
Yeah.
But-
So I don't know. There's a good potential here. Like I would be relatively open-minded with it if he went there of how good they could be. Just because the guy's a beast, and Fraud knows what he's done.
For sure. Well, I suppose if that happens, we hope the best for that team. It would be pretty cool to see how well it works out. A turnaround for MIBR would be pretty hype. Let's move on though to some
real
other.
quick, Mimi, I just wanted to. The article suggests that there is a potential that Noswer will join MIBR as well.
Oh shit! I
Yeah.
missed that.
Fury allowed him to explore his options a while ago, and
My
Noswer
Noswer
is
stocks are
not on a
pretty
team
high.
right now.
That guy
He's
is.
good.
That guy is
And,
good, and I'm not gonna lie. Like people who forgot, he got kind of fucked by Leviathan at the start of last year, right? He was set to be on the roster, and then I think it was literally like on Christmas they called him up and were like, "Hey, you're dropped. We're signing
Christmas
Tom."
Day. Oh, that's crazy.
So-
I mean,
Merry
do you think
Christmas.
I always wondered whether aspas, because it was always rumored that like him and Noswer were friends, and one of the reasons he wanted to play with Lev was because he was on Lev, and they cut him like right before the season. And I was always a bit like, oh, aspas, he doesn't seem so keen on going back to Lev. Whether that was a kind of part one of him being like, I'm gonna play out this year and I'm fucking gone.
It's actually Gus Fring's business partner getting killed in Breaking Bad. What has aspas tweeted? From
This is an
this post
old
today is
tweet.
very difficult for me. I want to make it clear to everyone how incredible and dedicated Noswer is. He speaks 3 languages and communicates very well. So all organizations that are interested in him have no doubts. Noswer is very good. I hope to play with you again in the future, brother. You deserve all the best. I'm not a member of an organization. I'm just a player. I hope you understand. And this was earlier
as
in
fuck.
response to
Yeah, that's cool.
Noswer's announcement that he was no longer part of Leviathan. So
The Lev MIBR game will be absolutely crazy. If that one happens, that'll be
Ooh,
awesome to watch.
man, that's gonna be hype as fuck if that comes through.
Spicy, spicy.
Aspas about to drop like 40 and a 13-3.
Kill record again, yeah.
More news of your former player, Sliggy. Jamppi is leaving Team Liquid after a long tenure with that roster. Interesting cryon, Kurt, to get BBL Esports. Do you think him
Like-
getting BBL is good for his career, Sliggy?
I think him moving to BBL is good. I think this is a little bit of an underrated roster. It's going to be, obviously it's not the same as Vitality in terms of like the firepower, but it's going to be the same questions of how is the IGLing, how do they look, like mid-rounding and planning and everything. Because this is a lot for him to do. And I feel like sometimes with Jamppi, at least when I left, I feel like he was like used a little bit wrong. In my mind, he is an opper. Like that's where we kind of excelled, and then he kind of put into like a rifler fill flex role. So it'll be interesting to see like where now he has a bit more control, where he'll kind of fit himself, like if he's actually going to start opping a little bit more. He did IGL on Liquid for a little bit in like 2021. Again, we pretty much tried everyone. He in my opinion was the best out of all of the IGLs that we tried, but it was more down to a confidence thing of people like overcalling, which then shattered his confidence, and then it kind of just snowballed into a bit of a disaster. So, but in terms of like the potential, I think his IGLing was the best out of everyone we had. So I believe he can IGL, and he has a very good work ethic. So I'm kind of confident he can make it work, but it's still a lot on his plate to do as someone, in my opinion, that is probably going to keep doing a rifler role, whereas I think he excels as like a opping role. So it'll be interesting to see his calling and how it kind of affects his fragging.
Well, Chamber got buffed, so maybe that's one area he could go to. Am I the only one who finds this kind of fucking weird? This BBL
I mean,
roster,
it was always a Turkish-speaking team, and
No,
now
it's very bizarre.
they're
Yeah, it's
signing
like-
an English-speaking IGL who's on Liquid for his entire career. It is definitely weird.
Yeah, I just think this is just so fucking weird. And like you say, Slee, it's not that the team that they've assembled is bad. I just feel like this should be like the Giants roster. You know, it just doesn't seem right that it's the BBL roster. And I'm so surprised that like they got rid of Elite as well. I guess because they just decided to go full English. But they've signed a couple Turkish players, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
A couple Turkish players, but then they got rid of like Elite, who was like really good last year in EMEA. Like, and to me, and then like, you know, thought I've got rid of CNED, and so it's like, oh man, maybe you could have got CNED as well. Like, and we know obviously that Turkish tier 2 is apparently just, you know, full of little gems of players who are just, you know, always going to be fucking insane. So I just find it very strange that like that now they've decided to get rid of like the Turkish element, because they had a couple players that was like are pretty, like, you know, Kuchner pretty good, Elite was really good, I thought, last year. And yeah, just decided to get rid of it and go English speaking. But yeah, we'll see, I guess. Obviously, you're the one to speak, Sliggy, on Jamppi's success, but it will be a bit strange. Are you know he's IGLing then, I'm guessing?
Yeah, he is.
There you go.
So, but I also think like in terms of BBL, it is weird because what you're saying, obviously, when we speak about EMEA tier 2, the Turkish players, that we probably list the most Turkish players that are coming up. So you would think that a Turkish org would be picking them up. They did also sign that Pacific team, is like they kind of did like a merger, I think, where it's like BBL Pacific or whatever they are. So that's like LaRock, and there's basically like 3 big up and comers there that are all that are all basically 17. So next year they turn 18. So it does feel like a pretty smart move from BBL that they've kind of picked in my opinion, like a pretty decent team for this year, and then they have a really good backup of a lot of players that they can kind of secure early for next year if they want to go back to like their Turkish roots and have an all Turkish team, because there is 3 players in that Pacific BBL team that are like very, very good, like very, very good. So it should be impressive. So I think you'll see a lot of these next year kind of moving up into tier 1. So I think they've made a good roster for this year, or at least next year, and then I think they have a good plan moving forward for the year after. And if I'm everyone in BBL at the moment, this is like a good opportunity. It's a good year to try and prove what you can do, especially Jamppi with this one.
I wonder if the Turkish fans are going to be mad about this move at all, because I know in the it is like a Turkish organization dropping a bunch of Turkish players to go into an international roster. Like, I know it's like for Leviathan this year, it didn't start out with fans being super on board with the team. Obviously, some people were, some people weren't, but it is a pretty shocking change to make and kind of a big move away from their roots. So I'm really interested to see how the fans take to this change beyond just how they actually end up performing.
For the most part, seems like pretty happy. It's based on some of the emojis there, I suppose.
Yeah, lots of fire emojis. Wow.
Yeah, and they still have rumored to have like 2 Turkish players anyway. So I
Okay.
think they've done a good job. Especially, it makes a lot more sense now they signed the that kind of second team for maybe the year after. So yeah, this is gonna be one of those teams that we have to keep an eye on. They have a lot of potential, but it could also like really fall apart. To be honest, because of
one
the
of the
eye gelling.
things-
So.
One of the things you can get with orgs like that, though, as well, is that like sometimes the fans might just become so desperate for just like really
Success.
good, clear success. Which BBL, I mean, they were punching towards that. Like I was amazed with the resurgence that they kind of had last year. But sometimes they can just be like, okay, I don't care what happens anymore. I just want to see.
Are you
this
talking
team
about global
get a win."
esports there, Seth? Are you perhaps talking about global esports at all?
What are you? I don't know. I don't like what you're alluding at here, Mr. TMV. That's your name stands for too mischievous. Victor, which I assume is your real name.
Victor. I like it.
Oh
Beautiful.
my god, that killed him. I've silenced him this time.
Damn, he's gone this
Dude,
time.
he's
Yeah, you
gone
got a lot of
again.
power, man.
Yeah,
Victor's
I've
got a lot of
decided
power.
I've had
now.
enough of you now.
That's crazy.
Victor is taking over.
Let's move on to our last piece of news, which is, I don't think that's surprising. Edward Gaming making the decision to release Haodong, their former IGL that stepped into an assistant coach role halfway through the year in the somewhat controversial move to pick up Simon that ended up working pretty damn well with a world championship win. The players on EDG did talk a lot about the impact he had stepping into the assistant coach booth and kind of keeping the vibes up for the team, helping out in timeouts, things like that. But I think we've always known that Haodong was going to want to go back and compete and play again. And this move is going to allow that, as there are now words that he is going to be moving over to Titan Esports, and they have picked him up, which feels like a pretty big piece for any other Chinese team to be able to have a sniff of the EDG legacy.
I think it takes a lot of, removal of your pride as a player to be benched and then be still in the right mindset and still want the team to win enough that you're like, yeah, guys, don't worry, I'll be there for you and I'll still be helping out. I just think that takes a lot of like mental strength of being like, you think I'm not fucking good enough, but I'm still gonna be, right with you. So yeah.
Hi, Seth.
Hi, Seth.
The limits of human sanity, they're being tested. Some higher powers trying to see, is Helios capable of murder? Let's find out.
Who are you going to kill?
We just next time he drops out, he
well,
comes
no.
back. He's in a taxi
There's
again.
no good answer to that question, so I won't answer it.
Okay, that's good. That's good. But yeah, what do you think about the Haodong move to TEC?
So he
mean,
went.
great for Haodong. I mean, I think that he was still an incredible player. I think EDG obviously made all of the right moves that they needed to make in order to win champs, with Muggle coming in and Haodong moving into kind of a positional coach. But I think that he's still a really talented player. So I'm happy to have seen that chapter from him. Get a trophy from behind the scenes, but then also still be hungry enough to go back to the forefront and look to try to win one in his own right as a player.
Yeah, I agree with that as well. I think we kind of need to keep an eye on like his fragging. That was the main thing that was kind of letting EDG down. But yeah, I mean, he's always going to have the hunger. And After went with him, right? So the EDG coach has followed with him as well. So that'll be interesting. Also to see what happens with EDG if they pick up another coach or if they just I think they still had other people. I'm pretty sure they had Muggle and stuff. So
Yeah.
I think
Maybe you could ship Mini off to China.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah,
I'm pretty sure in the
I'll
same
write them an
announcement
email.
it said that someone else was leaving as well. Let me pull it up. I believe that one of their coaches,
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
it was after, right? Who was
Yeah.
their former head coach who then got kind of replaced by Muggle at that same time, is going over. So you really are getting at least like half of the brain trust from EDG, and for a squad that was last place in the Chinese region last time, these feel like the correct building blocks to put together a stronger roster for the future.
Yeah,
I agree.
for sure. Good moves.
All right, well, best to Haodong, and hopefully we see a little bit more success from Trace this year. That's all the news for now, which leaves us down the most important segment. It's Wyatt's Weekly Award.
Wait for it. Wait for
The
it.
suspense.
Waiting.
Tell anyone, but I got a special one this week for Wyatt's Weekly Award. Just 3 bob for it.
How did he get that?
How's it got that?
DRX
fuck?
office, I assume.
That was in my house. Gone. I don't know where you got that from.
Josh robbed you. All right, any nominations for Wyatt's Weekly Award?
I think Seth.
Okay.
For
Well,
surviving his car
Just
crash?
for surviving and getting here. Yeah, just for, just
The-
putting in an effort.
The effort
Feeling
levels,
the being the idyllic fucking Plat Chat guest, tuning in even while, or just calling in even while on a call, or in a car, I should say.
And you know what?
getting into an
Some
accident?
call it Wyatt's Weekly Award. Others call it the Perfect Attendance Award. And I think for that reason, I don't have anyone else in mind, so we have to give this Wyatt's Weekly Award to Seth. Not only did this man survive a grueling car accident, he couldn't get a taxi, he was drunk in the streets of Seoul, but he didn't miss a minute of the episode, except for all of the time he wasn't here. So, congratulations,
I
Seth.
I would go with pissed, but it's to teach their own.
Happy is.
And all the while being the happiest little guy you know.
I'm always happy to be around my friends. Am I the only person who's won, in this case, not the cross
show?
universes, the Plat Chat and the Overwatch weekly awards?
Oh, that's a
Surely.
great question.
Did Carpe
Probably.
ever win an Overwatch one? He might have won
He
both.
must have.
Doubt it.
I
But
thought, did he win
maybe.
a Valorant one? I thought he might
The
have.
flame.
I could be wrong. No,
There's
I mean, I
a
love
world where Carpe
I
won
just-
both.
Huh? I don't know. But either way, maybe I could just be that winning, I suppose.
Make sure you update your Twitter bio. Multi-game
2 times,
award-winning esports commentator.
Oh, dude, who gives a shit about the esports awards? This one counts
Exactly.
way more.
Dude, did you
Yeah,
see
multiple
they did the
wipes.
Saudi awards and then they're just doing another award show like it
Yeah, they're
never
like
happened?
They split them in half, and
But they're repeating awards on. It's so stupid. It's such a
no. I
worthless-
think it's completely separate ones because like play by play wasn't at the first one, but it was. I don't understand the system. I'm not on the panel. They asked me to be on like 2 years ago, and I said no, thank you. But like, I don't know what the system is, but don't vote for me.
based, I guess. All right. Well, I think that does it for Plat Chat Valorant episode 192. We'll be back with 193 next week for more epic Valorant action. Thank you guys so much for joining today, and we'll see you next week.
You're bearing with my bullshit. Bye.